Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Black Ferns Rugby World Cup campaign. They are just about to kick off. We're only moments away from this exciting matchup between New Zealand and Scotland. It is myself and it is my mum who will be once again joining me. New Zealand making a lot of changes in this match, deciding to rest some of their key players heading into the quarterfinals, which they will find themselves in next week. Who do you think's winning this contest, though?
You got to go for the Black Ferns, don't you? They
Scotland
seem to have a strong squad.
Scotland wearing the purple, which is interesting because the men's side also were wearing the purple and people turned their back on them because they didn't like lilac.
Really?
Yep.
It's only a colour. It's only a shirt.
I mean, so much more. But now it's going to be kicked downfield from the Scottish and the Black Ferns in possession. So in this matchup, they haven't got Ruby Tui. They haven't got Portia Woodman. They've got a massive line break now, though. I believe on the inside, it's going to be a nice pass off to Nunn Wu. Right, New Zealand really looking like they're going to pour on the pressure early on up against the Scottish here. Now, up against Wales, it was relatively close early, but then Wales started slowing down. New Zealand started capitalising on those opportunities. We have got George in the chat. Also, Summer is here, Novmum, Tawera, and also Summer is here as well. And Summer is certainly here at the moment here in New Zealand. Not too bad today, 14 degrees Celsius.
Lovely, isn't it?
Yeah. Pretty nice. New Zealand currently inside of the 22. We lost power during the Wales versus Aussie game. Thankfully, back now. Says Novmum there. Oh, what would have caused the power outage? Was it some sort of accident, I assume? Because, yeah, I'd assume the weather's not too bad up there either at the moment. For some reason, we're very tanned looking. Like we went out in the sun today, but not this much.
No.
Like only a few minutes. Nice tackle on the wing. New Zealand currently still hanging on to position after 7 phases. They nearly scored. Says Summer. They certainly have. Still driving forward the Black Ferns. Couple changes, like I mentioned, compared to what they did have in the last matchup. They decided they might as well try and test out everyone's legs in this contest rather than just going with the same old every single game.
Why not? If you've got the squad, use them.
So Seta Hirini, I believe, is the captain. That is a nice backline movement over the top. Surely this is a try. Yes, it is.
Unselfish.
And it's going to be out on the wing. I want to say it was Renee Holmes who went in to get herself that try.
I'm sure.
It was Renee Holmes who was able to score. I'm quickly getting the lineups up just so we can see exactly how many changes New Zealand made to their squad, which is quite a few. They've got almost a whole new front row again. They seem to be switching between the two. Did they have Ponsonby in the starting lineup today?
Yeah, he's doing well.
I'm just going to quickly go like that and like that. There we go. But yeah, Renee Holmes scoring the first one. And did they score? They certainly did out wide. The draw and pass, Renee Holmes gets in, and New Zealand already getting themselves some points on the board. So just to clarify, you cannot hear anything at the moment, can you?
No.
Do we assume that it's Spark Sport that's on mute, or do we assume that it's my headphones that don't want to play the noises?
I don't know. You normally have some sort of sound, though, don't you?
We'll go. I'm worried that if I click the wrong button, it's going to start blasting through the speakers and then we'll get copyrighted.
Okay.
So we may just have to have it on mute just for now. We'll go like this. Good start to the match for the Black Ferns. And also, yes, sir, says Summer. The kick has gone away to the right-hand side, so it is going to remain 5-0 for the Black Ferns after just the 3-minute. Is it today, New Zealand versus Japan? It is not. Next week, Saturday at, I believe it's about 6:45 p.m. New Zealand time. That is when that game's going to be taking place.
Good time.
Not too bad. Japanese time zone seems to link up quite nicely with us. Yeah, then there's Scotland versus Australia. That's at 5:30 a.m. So not so much of a nice time zone there, but we will still be up. And we will still be covering that game as well. The Black Ferns, about as good of a start as you could have had. About 11 phases in, making sure they're hanging on to the ball. Now it's going to be Teresa Fitzpatrick charging forward just up to the 22. Go Kiwi Girl, says Peter Stowers. And there as well. Nice run from Amy Rule. Pick and go around the side. That's the thing, Scotland, they had a close game and a narrow loss to Australia. It was that discipline at the end of the game that really started to cost them. But now, this is pretty much a do or die game for them. They need to win it. I believe they were able to beat Wales in their playoff game, I believe. And of course, with only the 3 groupings, it's the best third-place teams. So Scotland are trying to prove that they are just that. And Mulla Hamish, Talofa Mum, New Zealand Wahine, 56, Scotland 12. And also, hey, Honey Hamish, says Brandon. Now, I don't think I've ever been called Honey Hamish before, but hello, Brandon. You doing all right, mate?
How's it going?
Only 4 minutes through. New Zealand looking like they're relatively calm in the situation. It was Roos who they were showing the zoom in on. The other two locks for this one, Roos and also Nan Wu. Very handy combination to have. So they've decided to give Chelsea Bremner a spell for this match. So Hirini now crashing it up. Playing number 7 for this match. You can kind of slot in anywhere in that loose ball trio that they need. That's a nice, beautiful overlap. Now down the wing, it's going to be Alana Bremner who's dropped the ball. That little mistake. And also her mother son duo, the Scots, and I assume that's a Welsh flag. For some reason, it comes through as a black flag, though, for some reason. Fly home tomorrow. I don't believe so. One of these two sides, I'd like to think, will be the best third-place team. Although the points differential might really cost them. I'm going to look at the whole table now and see who's sitting the best at the moment. Hey, we should have a look at schedule for 10 p.m. because I have a look A5. Says, it was Brandon there. And yes, Wales says, and I am man, them YouTube peeps as party poopers. Says Tawera in there. Yeah, any match footage or audio. And I guess this is probably a good time to clarify. We wanted to do a lot of the Cricket World Cup, but unfortunately, the people who falsely copyright struck us last year are doing the World Cup this year, which would mean more than likely they'd falsely copyright strike us again, and we wouldn't be able to live stream for about 2 or 3 weeks. So the reason we haven't done any Cricket World Cup and may not get to do too much of the Cricket World Cup is due to, I guess, dirty politics on the part of another YouTube channel. It's going to be the penalty to New Zealand.
Well done.
Now, considering the quick tap, and they do actually take it. Marino Tauhinu now goes on the outside to Fitzpatrick. Good acceleration. Nice ball from Renee Holmes down the wing. Close to the line now for New Zealand. It is Whitcliffe. Now, she didn't get herself a try in the last match, did she? But she was very close quite a few times. Amy Rule. Only 5 out from the line now for the Kiwis, and they are looking to sling it left. Good rush defence, though, from Scotland. I believe it was Conkild Roberts who did that one nicely. Now back. Loose ball. New Zealand cleaned it up, though. Hey, Holmes with a big fin. She's already gone over once today. Wouldn't mind adding another one to the try scorer's tally. Yeah, a couple big names missing for the New Zealand side in the backline. They've also got Demant. Instead of starting, she's actually going to be coming off the bench. It's the fly half for the last 2 matches. She's played very well throughout the competition also. I got up hoping you were doing the Kangaroos Scots League this morning. Had to listen to the TV commentator says, Hanoi. Yeah, that game, unfortunately, it was high. It was on the cards initially, but then the night just didn't really link in with it, if that makes sense. You know how sometimes, I guess, the schedule, it got to about, I think I was up at about 1, and I was like, I can either stay up for 6 hours here and then do that game, or I can sleep in and then do the next night games, because we have got Fiji versus Italy coming up later on tonight, and also alongside that, we are going to be doing the game at 7:30 a.m., which is going to be the Stormers versus Cardiff or Ospreys, I believe. A couple of the games have been cancelled. We were initially going to be doing Sharks versus Ulster. That game's been cancelled due to a side having gastro. So, yeah, but unfortunate there that 2 of the URC games have been delayed. 7.5 minutes through. Scotland get themselves the penalty here. And it will be, I believe, Lisa Thompson going to be kicking that one into touch. A little bit of an injury in back play as well for Scotland. I'm still curious to know whether or not there is actually sound, or whether we are just very unlucky here. I'm going to quickly open something else, actually. That's a good way of doing it. I'll just get Spotify open. Okay, we can't actually hear through Spotify either. So it's our sound that's playing up. Can you say hi to Selvin, please? Is that Selvin Davis from the Sevens side? He was very handy over the last little while. But hello, Selvin. Hope you're doing well, bud. Right. So it is the sound that does not want to come through our little device. That's unfortunate, isn't it? Yeah, it's plugged in. Kicked in behind from Scotland. That's going to be almost a bit of a juggle there out on the wing. Now, Letty Inga, she is actually back in the side. There was a lot of excitement when she was announced to be in the team. Good hands from Fitzpatrick to Holmes. Once again now, New Zealand looking to drive 10 metres out from the line. Good run forward from Sarah Hinini. Couple extra metres for the Black Ferns. Now going off to the right-hand side. It's going to be very hard to stop. They have got Amy Duplessis playing 13 for this contest rather than 12 like she was in the last match. Can you read my message to Brandon? I will in a very short moment. New Zealand just about to score a try, though. Amy Rule going down. Or in fact, no, sorry, it was Pit Love, the other prop for the Kiwis. Backline here, as long as this pass finds hands, this should be a try, and it will be for Letiainga.
Why don't you just plug direct? I don't need sound.
Don't you? Why don't I just plug you direct and I don't have sound?
Well, either or. I don't need it, so because I hear you.
That's true. I do talk a lot. It's just interesting, isn't it, that it's gone from working. Normally it pops up down the bottom corner saying, hey, it's working. You know? Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, do you hear a little bit?
No.
Okay, never mind. And also, we've got my spark ball is behind you, says Novmum. So normally, that's the thing, Spark Sport always have that like 30-second delay or so. And where can you watch this on TV? Spark Sport. That's your best option there, Andrew, depending on whereabouts you are in the world. And also, someone said try. And there, yeah, the Black Ferns get themselves another. And now they will be sitting on 11 minutes through, or sorry, 10 and a half minutes through. Kick coming up from Renee Holmes. She's 0 from 1 tonight. He are free to interviews at 10 p.m. because at time I free, says Brandon, I'm probably going to be sleeping at 10 p.m. tonight. So I can wake up nice and early for Fiji versus Italy. That's good strike of the ball. It's curving late, though, and it misses for Renee Holmes. But it's going to be Latienga, who scored 8 tries in her past 6 appearances. So I believe she had a bit of an injury.
Yeah, and she's just come back, isn't she?
Yeah. My Spark Sport is faster than yours, says Summer in there.
Is she, was it her that Wade Smith said was player of the last tournament?
Possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah, there's a lot of beeping every once in a while.
Well, I just plug yours straight in. I don't need it.
It may just be the PC, to be fair. If I go like this. Yeah, I don't hear anything either. So I think it's just my PC sound is playing up.
Ooh.
That's good. It's probably that spider in there again.
Time for a new one.
Now, it's going to be running down the wing. Marino, oh sorry, not Marino, Makeli to his sister. Makeli to Ariana.
Oh, okay.
Now back inside ball. Nice work to Pip Love.
The props do a lot of work, don't they?
They do. And I think that's something you notice with Fiji sides. That's a great inside ball from Nanwu, and the Kiwis go in again. This time, Sitahirani scores up between the posts. Who left those Powerade bottles on the field?
Oh, I don't know.
Is that Scotland after their last team huddle?
Probably. It's a bit rough, isn't it?
But Sitahirani scores again.
Extra points like you do in cricket.
Oh, if you hit it, think an extra 5.
Oh.
Yeah, she's done well to take that one and not get flipped over backwards. New Zealand for the win, says Summer.
I think so.
In there as well. We're going to try your headset now.
Oh, yeah, no, it's updated to scoreboard now.
Yeah, there's just no sound.
No,
it doesn't recognise that it's
we
like
don't need
working.
these then.
Well, probably not, but they hide my ears, so it's good.
Ah, okay.
Hirini gets another one. 12 and a half minutes through now. This contest, New Zealand already 15-0 up. That points differential really going to be going away from the Scottish.
Doesn't bode well for the Scots.
No. No, we've hardly even seen a Scottish attack yet, have we?
No.
And this one, you'd have to say, is New Zealand's best start to a game. Because I think their last couple matches, 25 minutes or so is normally when they start to ramp it up. Hirini. See, what she should have done with all those bottles right there, it should have just grabbed some, just started spraying water everywhere. Yeah. I see, if you're going to leave them on the field, you're not going to have hydration anymore, Scotland.
The Sevens girls have sort of mixed in quite well with the 15s, haven't they? And just given them a wee bit of pace.
I think that's helped also with Super Rugby Aupiki, because those women have had that opportunity. That's going to be going close to dead, very close. It has gone dead off the kickoff and maybe changed my margin to New Zealand 45 plus, says Novmum there, or maybe more, says Summer there as well. Yeah, it's weird. The PC keeps on making a dodgy beeping noise. It's probably going to blow up very soon. So anyone who wonders where we disappear to if the screen goes black, you'll know why. It's because my PC's decided that it doesn't like me anymore.
So what happens then?
Then the stream still continues.
Does it?
We just won't be here for it.
Okay.
I'll have to try and either fire it up on a laptop or my phone.
Oh, okay. So you've got those options.
We've actually done that before when we had a power outage. a little while ago. There was like 10 minutes of silence. So what I ended up doing during that 10 minutes was I bought data on my phone and just chatted in the chat with people while the power was off. We've had some weird live stream happenings.
Well, you've had thunder and lightning too, haven't you?
Yeah, when me and Isaac were playing
And
Far
wind.
Cry.
And wind. Blowing a gale.
Back
Snow?
across there,
No.
Pip Love. I don't know if we've had snow yet.
Well, we've had snow during the day, but
back across now. Good work from New Zealand. Offload from Amy Duplessis. It's gone backwards, though, so it's going to be play on just for now. Amy Rule with another carry forward. Penalty to New Zealand.
Yeah.
Already 15 minutes through, and New Zealand finding themselves on 17 points. It's pretty handy.
Would you just go for the 3 to...
No, it's quite a kick from there. So Tubic going to be starting at number 10 for this game. I believe Demant will be there for the quarterfinals, but just for now, they've decided Tubic's the best option for the New Zealand women's side.
And as I say, they must have a pretty good squad and pretty good depth. Is she Simmons?
No.
No.
Not that I know of.
I've seen her face before though, so
not current sevens.
Maybe I've watched some rugby.
Back across. New Zealand with the rolling maul 10 metres out from the Scottish line. Joining on to the back. Once again, that rolling maul, but it has gone down. New Zealand, it's going to be available for Marino Tauhinu. Nice run forward from Teresa Fitzpatrick. Oh, someone's getting a hug off the ball. Fair enough. Charging forward now, Georgia Ponsonby. Are all these games played in the far north only? It seems to be that way. We haven't seen any games take place in the South Island yet. And I don't know whether or not...
Going to.
Yeah, I don't think they'll change it just because they don't want to risk
good try.
anything. I was just checking the whereabouts they're playing. The next game is Whangarei. It's going to have some games. And then also the Trust Arena in Auckland. Semi-finals will be at Eden Park and at... Eden Park, and then I assume the final's also going to be at Eden Park. More than likely, yes. So Eden Park's going to get a lot of games. Yeah. On the flat pass off to Makiali who reaches out and scores.
Maybe it's because COVID's not. It might be ramping up again soon, but maybe they just didn't want to. They wanted to keep them close. I
like how, because we haven't got sound in the headphones, you seem like you're in a library. You're like using your quiet voice.
Am I?
Yeah.
It's because of these.
You've been very soft-spoken today rather than yelling at them. But how can you be mad at them? 22-0.
I mean, it's a great start. I don't need to get pissed off with them.
And also Heineken's, however you spell it. And also no cold Heineken's today. Good day for it, says Nazi Williams. And all these games played in the fun. I read that one. And Jeremy had said hello, 50 plus. And then they might copyright some of my one. Because I do, says Brandon. And there we go. Says Novma. Kick's gone over.
Yeah. Oh, they leave them there. That's not. They shouldn't leave them there.
Unless they're just ready for a drinks break all the time.
What are they thinking, though? We're scoring flat out, and they got drinks in the bloody goal area. What's the matter?
I'm just listening to beeping, trying to work out where it's coming from.
Oh, shit. Should I go get the laptop now?
No, it should be all right. Cricket, says Brandon. And there's it's going to be kicked off long. Fitzpatrick takes it. That one would have been close to going dead as well. So New Zealand already bonus point in 18 minutes.
Yeah.
There's still another 62 minutes left. No. So I guess the bigger question is, can New Zealand get 100 over the Scottish? And that would be a huge statement.
They're going to be tired after this game. Done a lot of running.
I believe their next game will be on Saturday next weekend. But yeah, Scotland up till this point, like they lost 14 points to 12 up against Australia. And then in their first game, they were, they just narrowly missed out against Wales, 18 points to 15. So for New Zealand, they have already got more points against the Scottish side than any other side have in this World Cup. And we're only 18 minutes in. Now it's going to be turned over. Amy Duplessis down the wing. Now she doesn't often pass and she still won't.
Yeah, but it was probably a good time to hold on to it.
Or it was almost Scotland's ball.
Oh, it did well.
In the breakdown, but New Zealand still hanging on to it. It's going to be Tubic, goes back across. Low tackle made on Georgia Ponsonby.
Jeez, they're playing well.
Seems like they just have that extra gear at the moment, don't they?
They're playing good rugby.
Nunwu driven down, finds the offload up 40 metres out from the Scottish line. Another good carry from New Zealand, finding the offload to Amy Rule, who almost stands on her teammate. Manages to just avoid it. 100+0. How much is that? Says Summer in there. I assume you're talking about in the TAB odds. I'd assume it would be quite high. It might be a point a minute, 80-0, says the winner there. And also we've got a G Harper, says Cullen. And also looks like it's going to be a cricket score. We just too good, says Summer. And also New Zealand play today at 3 a.m. to cricket. And how you doing, Bunnings EPC final, says Brandon. I won't actually be doing the Bunnings EPC final. We will be watching it. With the amount of games all taking place at the same time, there's actually 4 matches that I want to watch all taking place at identical times. So I think rather than trying to live stream and juggle all of those games, I'm just going to end up watching them kind of separately. That makes sense. And also Wellington versus Canterbury, says Brandon. And also now will the Black Ferns score more in the first or the second half, says Novmum. I would say, ooh, he put in together a multi, but I'd say probably second half, just because I feel like Scotland should tire. Definitely if they're playing at this tempo, but the Black Ferns are probably in a race with themselves at the moment. It's going to be a loose ball. Ponsonby didn't really look like she wanted to jump on that one, and because of it, Scotland almost had that ball back until it's turned over. No, it's back on the side of the Scottish. Now, first real attacking opportunity for Scotland inside of New Zealand's half. Boy, Mattinson goes across to our big forwards. Looking for the ball penalty to Scotland, right? They will look to probably kick this one for the corner, slow it down, get a little bit of stamina back.
What?
I was just waiting, just seeing if there was anything you wanted to say.
Nah.
No? You all right?
I don't know.
Okay, well, now it is going to be Lisa Thompson kicking this one into Dutch for the Scottish.
This is the first time you said that name.
This second. But that's all right.
Oh, okay.
One of the standouts for Scotland in the Six Nations.
Oh, okay.
And she was close to, I want to say she had one leg at the Seven Circuit at one point, because that would have been a part of Great Britain, though.
Oh, okay.
Line out throw about to go in for Skeldon. Goes to the front, nicely taken.
But they were saying some of these women's teams aren't even professional, aren't they?
No. Still considered amateur.
Yeah.
Or semi-pro.
I said that. I mean, how many weeks off do they have to take off work to play this tournament?
Yeah,
surely they get paid by the union to play.
Although I remember there was a story a while ago about how, because they had to stay for an extra night, like they had to all pay for the hotel or something, the players.
Oh, really?
Something like that. Not Scotland, not New Zealand, just a team a while ago had to like pretty much pay for everything extra because of the change of schedules.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Now 10 minutes out.
Can't remember which time.
New Zealand have been able to take the ball back, and it looks like they're going to go for a bit of a counter-attack straight over the middle. It's going to be Alana Bremner. Now passes off to Sarah Hirini, starting to fend off quite a few of the Scotswomen in this one. That was Helen Nelson not quite able to make the tackle. And Scotland hasn't even got the ball once. And there's Summer. Yeah, that was their best attacking opportunity. They didn't really make the most of it, though. But Hannah Smith didn't quite get the space she was after on that wing. And Don't Play Plants is on big battle for neighbourhood now. I not say anything but this game in a long time, but 3 hacked got into the game. Just Brandon in there. Those hackers, they have nothing better to do they?
No.
Quite hard hacking things, I would think.
I'm intrigued as to how they do it.
Have an injury by the looks of it here for Scotland. Their halfback, Mattinson. But the top 8 seeds at the moment, the way that it is sitting. So Fiji actually just narrowly out of the top 8.
Oh.
So they are going to need a big performance here up against France. And it's going to have to be a pretty huge one. Because just adding up those points at the moment, it's going to need some extra ones on the board. Fiji probably need to lose that game by less than 7, but also they would need to increase their points differential by about 30.
Will they win it?
France is tough. Oh, that looks like a little pop pass or pump fake from the Scottish there. And also, hopefully we score more than 86 so I can let my Australian cousin know we outscored them against the Scots, says Tawera there. More than 86. Although Scotland only beat Australia only beat Scotland by 2, didn't they? 14 points to 12. Oh, wait, we score more than 86. Is that so that they can have like almost 100 points on the board, maybe? Possibly because we Hamish, and don't chicken out. But who is your top 5 YouTube channel? I better be in the top 5, says Brandon there. I haven't actually really thought about my top 5 YouTubers overall, because I guess it depends on whether or not we're talking rugby or in general. So it would change drastically, I think. Overall, see, if George wasn't in the top 5, then that would also get me in trouble, and he knows where I live. So tricky, isn't it? Beep, beep. Still beeping. That's all right. You seem very chilled out today.
I've been chilling out all day. Haven't been doing much. It was busy yesterday, so today was a...
Oh, and the league this morning, Aussie won, says Tawera there. Wait, so they won by 86 in the league. I haven't actually seen the score of that game yet. But if it's 86, that is quite the margin. I'm going to go down and find where the next Rugby League World Cup game is. It's actually in 9 hours' time. Italy versus Fiji. We will be covering that game. Yeah, 84-0 for the Australians. Well, that was a bit one-sided, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Not much of a challenge for Aussie in that one. Currently 25 minutes through. New Zealand 24-0, so they haven't really scored too many points in the last 5 or so minutes. I think Scotland are now starting to find their stride a bit more. A little bit more possession. Only had 19% in the first 23 minutes or so. Now, they've got themselves a scrum feed. .5 minutes through. Ball goes in and out the back. Mattinson now going to be going off into the pocket. It looks like Scotland going for a bit of the territory game, looking for a possible 50-22, but it's going to be cleaned up nicely by New Zealand. Renee Holmes now inside of the 22. Going off to the left, New Zealand. Looking to use Fitzpatrick in the midfield. Finds the offload as well to Amy Duplessis, who tries to offload it up. It's a bit loose, but New Zealand's still been able to regather the possession. The ball on the ground. Now another big run from, I believe this time it was actually a Ruse. I'm not sure about that pass from New Zealand. It seemed like they were kind of trying to be too fancy.
Yeah.
Rather than just going for the structure that has been working for them throughout the first little while. Maybe they're bored. You ever do that when you're bored in a game, you just go for random stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, because when I played tennis, won the first set 6-0, lost the second set 6-0.
Ah.
Then won the next one 6. Well, then might have been 6-0 again. So
okay. Bit of a seesaw.
Yeah, it was.
Favorite flavor, ice cream peeps, says Nazi Williams. Oh, that's a great question.
Is it orange chocolate chip or a banana chocolate chip?
For me?
No, for me.
I used to like one that was called Gold Rush.
Oh, yeah.
Which had like little toffee chunks in it.
Yeah.
Which was quite enjoyable.
What's the other one with the lollies?
Goody Goody Gumdrop.
Yeah. Don't know if that was my favourite, but I love the lollies.
Well, that's Zombies Battle of Neighbourville are hacked. Piss me off, says Brandon there. Now Scotland going off to the side. This is looking a little bit more dangerous. And the Black Ferns won't be minding this. They need some defence.
They do.
And some practice going into their next game. I'm not too sure who they will be facing in their next matchup, but if they're one of the top qualifiers, more than likely, they will find themselves up against maybe one of the lower ranked sides, maybe a Wales or someone like that again.
Surely not England yet.
No.
The way it should work is England and New Zealand in the final.
Not too sure.
No.
Might end up, or just will depend on whether or not they consider the other group, because there's a chance that the other group with, I think USA might be USA aren't the top of that other group at the moment. Might be Canada, not too sure, but because they're also in, I guess, a grouping with the 3. It's a bit weird having 3 groups rather than 4. The foot was just on touch. So New Zealand now with the line out. And good afternoon, folks. Congrats on 18K subs. Seeds of Asia. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. And to celebrate, I've got a tan, apparently, looking at this. I don't know why my camera today has
Everything's not working properly, is it?
No. I do look tan, though. Like, oh, that part didn't really, but I must have gone out in the sun. I did go out in the sun yesterday, though.
Oh, we sat out this afternoon.
22 metres up. I hope you are doing well, Sebastian. Which game of rugby league this weekend are you looking forward to the most? I believe for myself, I think Samoa-Greece is the intriguing one, just because Samoa need a big win, get any chance of getting anywhere in the Rugby League World Cup, because they lost their first game by 54.
Oh, that's right. They were favourites.
Yeah. And they changed name, as you know, at already. And who scored for New Zealand, says Peugeot. So far we have seen Seta Hirini's score. That's going to be Teresa Fitzpatrick now scoring. So we've seen Fitzpatrick score. We have seen Seta Hirini score. Also, Leti Inga, she has scored, and Renee Holmes. I was going to say, I thought my eyes were deceiving me. We look more Maori than usual, says Sebastian. And there, yeah, for some reason, I'm just very, very orange. Maybe I do need to get a tan.
Maybe.
Congrats on 100 subscribers on the Kiwi Lads cap, says Brandon there. The Kiwi Lads cap, or the Kiwi Lads clips, has that gone up to 100? There, I guess you could say the slightly abandoned YouTube channel of the Kiwi Lads, although there's also the Kiwi Lads Reacts. That was fun while it lasted. We have one video on it at the moment. That's the thing. There were other videos that got put on another channel, though, a secret channel, that were quite funny Reacts videos, but we were worried they wouldn't be considered as PG enough for the Kiwi Lads brand. Like, we watched like a horror movie, like short film, and react to it, which was fun.
I mean, you jumped every time, did you?
No, it wasn't too bad, because I found some of them quite funny, because the storylines just weren't quite there. You know, when you watch a horror film and rather than going, oh, that was scary, you go, look at that makeup.
Yeah.
That's what we had. And also we have got there, I'm not really impressed with these British teams, really overrated, says William in there. And also minus Hokey Pokey all day long, says Tawera. It seems like Hokey Pokey a very, very popular one. And also we have got there, I'm looking forward to England versus France and Ireland versus Lebanon and the Rugby League World Cup, says Sebastian there. Yeah, actually, that was a weird wasn't it?
Yeah.
But England, I'm interested to see how they follow up their performance up against Samoa, because if momentum's a thing, they should really be able to stick it to France a little bit, because they've got that home field advantage. The crowd would get them behind them beautifully in that game up against Samoa. But I think that's just because of the unpredictable way that game went. Like, if someone before the game said England by 50 plus points, they would have gotten called an idiot. They would have had abuse hurled at them. And then after the game, of course, the thing that people do is they don't admit when they're wrong. So they would have just been like, oh, there was always a chance that it could have been a 50-point win for England. But, 32 minutes gone through this game, 50-point win for New Zealand could be on the cards. Currently 31-0. And also now maybe 45 is too conservative. This rate might be 80. And Oz could play Cheika and Lebanon in the quarterfinal. Geez, that's going to be a big game. Michael Cheika up against his own, I guess, his ex-team. But then it's weird, because if Lebanon don't make the top 8, does that mean he just goes straight to coaching Argentina in their November internationals? Like, it seems like he didn't plan it out that well, unless he expected Lebanon to fail, which sounds bad. But, it seems weird that he was like, okay, I'm going to go coach an international team. Then, depending on how they go, depends on whether or not I coach my other international team, or whether they just get sat there waiting for me to return.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
This is a bit weird, yes. Why you look so angry?
No, I just someone coming up the driveway.
The side profile made it look like you were giving someone an evil stare.
I was trying to see who was coming up the driveway.
I thought the crowds were a bit chill. Usually they're more vocal and energetic in the Super League game, for instance, says Sebastian. Oh, maybe there were more Samoans in attendance than English, possibly, because that's the thing. If you were a Samoan supporter for that game, you'd just be in shock.
What would you do? Would you carry on watching?
It was just try after try after try, and they just didn't slow down. We've actually got a video coming out tomorrow, I believe, though, which is one to look forward to. Me and George decided to play Samoa versus Greece on Rugby League Live 4. which was an interesting one. It seems he double booked himself power outage here in the North Shore, Auckland. How did I survive that 5 minutes? Says Nazi Williams. It's actually, that was a forward pass, wasn't it? It's going to be a try, though, probably for New Zealand here with a nice step round the outside. Whitcliffe's going to score it. They might have to check this one, though. I think there was a forward pass.
They're not going to check it.
I probably would have if I was in charge, but
no one said anything.
Right, we World Cup tries so far, 5 for Whitcliffe. This pass here is the one in question.
Oh, no.
Yeah, forward by about a metre. Just a forward pass, nice simple one for the referee to call, but they haven't, so New Zealand score. It's actually interesting. Sorry, you were about to say something, weren't you?
South Canterbury won.
They did. The boys from just up the road. I was going to say, it's interesting how much we rely on power, and then as soon as power goes out, even Wi-Fi, when your Wi-Fi's down for 5 minutes, people go, like, how am I going to live throughout this next time? I can't go on Facebook and Snapchat and Instagram and YouTube and Netflix and all the other things that need Wi-Fi.
That's why you download Netflix, which I've learned. I've got a couple downloaded just in case.
Just in case?
Yeah.
You got a power bank?
No, but you have, haven't you?
I have got about 6. They're going to check for the forward pass, I think.
Surely not.
Interesting. They would check it, and also Bonds might have decided to watch at home after seeing the Samoan supporters. Says, we're all right. They're going upstairs here to check out this game. I should mention throughout this game, we haven't actually had any sound. That is due to pretty much technical difficulties in the PC. Doesn't want to work anymore, unfortunately, which is a shame. Because I do enjoy sound. You know? That was a weird noise. And also, I've seen bits from the Wallaroos Wales game. Well-deserved win for the Aussies. They were their own worst enemy in terms of handling errors and the sort. Says Sebastian, yeah. It's going to be an important one. When we see these teams move through to the quarterfinals, like, that's the thing. It's finals football. So one mistake could be the difference, right? They're going to be checking this forward pass that I called from the start. That's forward. Out of the hands. Drifts forward by about, I would say half a metre.
Not far.
So I think this is going to be a no try. Whitcliffe looks surprised. She shouldn't be. Right. I believe it's going to be a no try for this one. I feel bad because, like, I called it from the start.
Oh, I know, yeah.
But now she would have had the celebration. She was all happy. And I feel like it's my fault that now it's going back to tell her otherwise.
How many times do they have to see the pass to deem it forward?
Don't know. I think it's just they're checking the angle. And do you know how the playoffs work in the women's rugby? 3 pools. Not too sure who plays who. Yeah, I'm not sure who actually matches up with who yet. I know that it's top 2 from all the groups, and then you've got the best third place team. I would assume the best third place teams, they would verse the 2 top qualifiers, and then third place would play 5th, maybe? Or 6th, sorry. Yeah, it's a weird system. But top 2 from each group and 2 best third place teams, says Sebastian. And I don't think they've actually confirmed on my app anyway whether or not New Zealand, like, if they qualify first, whether they are top qualifier and they have a certain team already in mind that they're supposed to be playing, or whether it's a little bit of a juggling act.
Why are they still checking it?
They're just going to have a look at it 15 times. The game's been going too quickly. They've given it as a try. There you go. Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen more forward passes for tries, haven't we?
Yeah.
So that one's going to be all right. And also, I now got community thing on YouTube on More Brandon Sports. There's Brandon there, so you'll be able to do polls. They're very fun, aren't they? I was going to post a update on one of those ones, but I don't know whether I'll do it on that or Discord. But pretty much Cricket World Cup, Sebastian, at this stage, slightly on hold, sadly, mainly because the ones who copyright struck us last year are still on YouTube, and they are still copyright striking people I've seen. I did a little bit of research, and they are still taking down random channels for no reason, just because they can, and they've got the size to be able to go, well, like, we're the big fish in the pond. So, yeah, Cricket World Cup may not be as prominent as I wanted it to be. We may still try a couple on the Kiwi Lads Sport, but that one might end up getting copyrighted as well. But YouTube are all right with it. I guess all their revenue's still going in their pocket, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Barry Ross, all right. Oh, gee, these games are so boring, says Obi. Are you watching the game currently, or are you watching nothing? That's the thing. I saw a comment earlier on. It was actually on the start of this live stream. And they said something about how they weren't going to watch it mainly because it's because women are playing. And I think I said to my mum that it really annoys people when they watch women's rugby and they see stuff that they know that they couldn't do. And it just seems to really fire off the ego and makes them go, nah, I could not watch this. Whereas if the women were playing netball, they're like, oh, we'll watch that. And then it's the same when the men play the netball. The guys, once again, are like, oh, can't watch that because it's men doing it. Oh, scary scenes, equality and all that.
Oh, surely that. I mean, this is the bloody 21st century, isn't it?
Is it? I don't even know how old I am at the moment. And yeah, 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5, I believe. And also the West Indies have hit rock bottom. So sad to see. First time they didn't make it through to the Super 12 main group since the first World Cup. One-sided games are not exciting. It's nothing to do with gender, says Ovi. And there as well. So you would have loved the game between the Welsh and the Australians, then I assume, Ovi. And I was like, well, it was forward. I look at where Tubic released the ball and look at where Wycliffe catches it, says Jobo. Yeah, I called it as forward. The TMO was like, nah, it's all right. All right, I was like, we get their High C Sports highlights. Welcome in, mate. You are doing very well indeed. He said, I'm really trying to put the pressure on in the breakdown. Did they keep their footing? I think they're saying there was a little knock on, though, originally.
Well, she wasn't going to get it back to her side. She was facing the wrong way.
Bonus point 38-0 at the moment here. New Zealand.
Good crowd.
Yeah, it's quite nice. And they've actually got a game later on tonight, Fiji versus France, from that same ground.
Oh, cool.
They seem to do the little triple up and double up.
Yeah, because where did Aussie play?
I believe they also played at this ground but earlier on. 8-0 in the line break department for New Zealand over the Scottish. And New Zealand versus Australia and Afghanistan versus England predictions. Ooh, you've got a bad feeling about the New Zealand-Aussie game, don't you?
Yeah.
You think Aussie are going to get us?
Well, they're both playing bad, so. I hope New Zealand win. I really do, but they need to. Oh, they need to do something different, I think.
That's another try for New Zealand.
Good try.
Well, Cliff out wide does get herself her second. Yeah, that's the thing. New Zealand and Australia both need this win,
Yeah.
but only one of them can get it.
Yeah.
England should be able to handle Afghanistan, but Afghanistan, you know, all it takes is Rashid Khan, Mohamed Nabi, one of these guys to really just pour on that pressure throughout 4 overs, get a few wickets. And then, although, I was going to say, will it be as rewarding on an Australian pitch? But Rashid Khan's shown throughout the BBL, line and length, and a couple wrong-uns might get you quite a few wickets.
Where's it being played?
I was going to say Australia there, but
I knew that.
Yeah, not too sure whereabouts the ground is. And Women's Rugby still basically at their beginning stages. Give them a chance, says Nazi Williams. Exactly right. And also there was a great clip of the women's Scotland team at a up North Marai, indulging in the culture, etc., etc. They loved it, says Nazi Williams. Well, the USA team, as soon as they got on New Zealand shores, pretty much just obliterated a pie shop, didn't they?
Well, there's nothing better than a New Zealand pie.
What about 2?
3.
What number of New Zealand pies do you then go, this was too many, I feel terrible? Is it at like the 3 mark? Somewhere around there?
Well, 2's, yep, right. But the 3rd one, no, you'd be able to handle 3, wouldn't you? I wouldn't be able to, but. No.
And nice to see Australia and Perth co-host the T20 World Cup, says Sebastian there. Yeah, Perth's got those. Actually, England, Afghanistan is in Perth, isn't it?
Oh,
I think, because I think it's a 12 a.m. start.
Oh,
maybe.
Could be interesting then. But, okay. I was thinking the other game. So the other game.
So
they both in Perth?
No, I don't think the other one is. And also we get there high, says Amelia. And there as well, currently 45-0 in favour of New Zealand. They're going to take that one. Hirni goes off on the inside. Looks like they want to keep on going here. New Zealand looking for the attack, going off to the short side now, 40 metres out. Do they just keep this one into touch, or do they continue to go? So that one was at the SCG.
Yeah.
And then England, yeah, they're at Optus. So that game, that will be happening while we do our Fiji versus Italy stream. Interestingly enough.
Sri Lanka and Hobart.
See, because I've also considered doing a different style of like doing a review of each match after it takes place as a summary. But then the thing is, they'll probably try and copyright strike that as well.
Tosses.
I thought so.
I was going to say something else then, but I realised where I was.
And we're going to the Melbourne Derby tonight, says Amelia. So yeah, the A-League, I believe it would be. Melbourne Victory, Melbourne City. Going to be playing off against each other. That should be a good game.
Wait, who do you? Amelia, which one do you follow?
She follows the West Sydney Wanderers, I believe.
Oh, okay, so none of the Melbourne ones.
Was it West Sydney Wanderers? She's maybe. Could have that one wrong, though. Who scored the tries, says Bajo? So far, we have seen 2 tries from Whitcliffe. We saw 1 try from Renee Holmes, 1 try from Leti Ainga, also a try for Seta Hirni, and then I believe there must have been 1 other try. Number 8, Marino, Makieli too. She was also able to get West Sydney Wanderers fan, says Amelia. And there as well. The Spark coverage is starting to freeze a little bit. I hope that's just our end and not theirs, because I know that they aren't the most popular company at the moment with their coverage.
Oh, it is a bit hit and miss, isn't it?
Some of these Scottish names, though, we've hardly seen any of.
No.
You know, someone like a Rachel McLaughlin at number 7.
She's quite good, is she?
She's decent. Hannah Smith out on the wing, we've hardly seen. Rona Lloyd, Shona Campbell, 45 at halftime. That's not fair, says Tom Rack. And the Iranian ref for that Melbourne Derby, good luck, says Sebastian. Then I'm posing as a Melbourne Victory fan today.
Good on you.
Oh, stream failed. Okay, so yeah, it might be Spark or it might be us, but hopefully it does come back by the Rugby League World Cup. That would be the worst thing if they end up with coverage cutting out for that Rugby League World Cup. I should mention the next games that we have got coming up tonight, ladies and gentlemen. First game that we are going to be doing, it is going to be the 2:30 a.m. kickoff game between Fiji and Italy. And then also alongside that, we have got another game taking place a little bit after that. At about 7:30 a.m., I believe it's going to be. But we may even have, depending on what time this game finishes, we may still be able to do the Bunnings NBC final at 7:05. Canterbury versus Wellington.
What are you looking at me for?
You're my co-commentator.
Well, you know I like Wellington, so.
And I know you hate Canterbury, so. Should be a good combination.
Should be. I'm thirsty.
Do you want to go get a drink? Okay, that doesn't take much convincing. We'll have my mum back in a short moment, ladies and gentlemen. Do let me know what you thought of the first half. Also, who you think's going to win the game between Fiji and France a little bit later on. Hey, I've lost my tan, mum. It's disappeared now. I'm back to pale. You have to come back quickly or else I'll start to see how pale I am. And also, I've got like 88 cents to get my dinner, which is easy because I can get chocolate wafers for 57. And it's like a pretty big pack, says Amelia in there as well. Yeah, currently an interesting first half. Didn't notice there's a game on, says Sebastian in there. The coverage is currently frozen for me, so it does, I guess, make some sense. I wonder why I was so tan before. No, it's still good. I think I've got it back. Yeah, this game, it says that the coverage is going to go till 7 p.m., 57 cents in there, says Amelia, for a pack of chocolate wafers for dinner.
I think it's the way that is, isn't it?
Hey, we're tanned again. Gone in the sun.
Do you want me to turn that round?
No, it's fine. I like a good tan.
Yeah.
Well, poor Scotland, says Janet. Yeah, certainly a lot more one-sided than any of their other games. They lost against Australia by 2. They lost against Wales by 3. And at the moment, they're losing by 45 against New Zealand. Would you like your headphones back?
Don't need them.
Not really. There's no sound at the moment or for the second half either, is there? Sadly, yeah, the sound's not really working. So hopefully if I reset my PC after this live stream, it may come back. Otherwise, it's going to feel like a really weird evening. It's a see-through bottle, isn't it?
Weird sense of humour.
By the way, boss, do you still want the Halloween emoji for next weekend? Kiwi Lads logo carved into a pumpkin? If you do have time, Sebastian. If you don't, it's completely fine. But yeah, if you do have time, I guess you can flick it through on Discord if you like, and I'll certainly make sure that it is emoji ready to go. We've still got the Christmas one that he made last year, and it's almost back to Christmas, so it kind of works quite well. First, we got Halloween, so then we're looking at Halloween. You normally go with that one, just you know. That's when he finds out he's not getting any candy. It'd be very sad. This is actually the first original Kieran emoji we had, fun fact. But then we upgraded it to this one. Very fancy. And also I had lamb curry. And also we have got there, David, are you at the game? And there's us, says Janet. So it's David Ahaka. Is that your husband? Maybe he's headed down to the rugby. And I'll send it during the week. No worries at all, says Sebastian. So thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. At the moment, they are just having a bit of a discussion about that first half. What happened? That's what they're saying. Very, very busy half for the Black Ferns. For some reason, I'm searching New Zealand shark attacks. Didn't know St Kilda Beach, Otago, had a great white attack. Says Hanoi.
They did.
And there's well, when did that happen? Was that recently?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
It's weird. At the moment, the Sharks seem to be getting their balls. Like, they're kind of getting ballsy, aren't they?
Oh, I'm glad you finished that. Yeah.
For some reason.
Global warming, they call it. I don't know.
So what, are the Sharks annoyed about global warming?
Yeah, so they get closer to the shore.
Ah, I see. Is that a Heineken your mum is drinking? It certainly is. She does enjoy a good Heineken every once in a while. Every couple hours? No.
Every day? I don't drink very often.
I think 1960s. Says Hanoi in there as well for the last shark attack.
I thought there was one recently, though. Or did a shark come close to the shore?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Sharks are weird, aren't they? Like, because they're just a bit random. They're kind of like that kid that everyone had in their class at school. How you just don't know what he's going to do. Like, he's all talk for a start, but then, like, he'll eventually just randomly run through a window.
Really? Did you just say that to see if I was listening?
No. There's always that one kid.
What, they run through a window?
Sometimes. It's a shortcut, isn't it?
No. That's silly.
It was like, oh, it was a great day. He had been planting veggies. I'm on prediction 80 for New Zealand, 25 for Scotland, says Kevin. So he's given Scotland a bit of a comeback. Second half, no, my in-law. But however, I enjoy your channel, says Jenna. Well, thank you very much. So yeah, hopefully, David, if he is at the game, he is absolutely loving the fine weather we got here in New Zealand at the moment. How are we? Says Ed. We're doing very well, mate. It's been nice, like Ralph on The Simpsons. Yeah, Ralph's a good example of that, isn't he? The coverage has gone downhill.
It has.
I think it's just the Wi-Fi, but I don't think it's our Wi-Fi in a way, because it seems to happen every Spark Sport live stream, but not every Sky Sport live stream. And also, did you see last night's UFC fixtures? Also, did you see Adam Hastings slide a 60-meter field goal or drop goal for Gloucester? So I hadn't seen that Gloucester field goal, but I did see the scores of last night's UFC fixtures. I got to see the highlights. Benetton doing not too badly against the Bulls, but the Bulls are able to get themselves that win. Then there was the other game, which I feel like I didn't look at the score as closely, and I've now forgotten what the score was. Oh, I hear sirens. Quick, hide the drugs. No. But yeah, tonight's games changed a little bit, haven't they, for the URC? The Sharks, Ulster's no longer taking place. We were going to be covering that game. Now they've got Gastro, I believe it is. And then alongside that, it's actually no game between the Lions and Cardiff. No, I don't know whether or not. I don't think Cardiff are the opposition. And can I put the drop goal link in the chat? You sure can, Sebastian. No, Cricket Stream says Ed. Pretty much the gist of the cricket is, as much as I want to do it, unfortunately, the channel that copyright struck us falsely last year is still doing the cricket, and they have been taking people down again this year. So sadly, like, it's a shame because I love doing the cricket, but the Cricket World Cup just seems to be too much of a risk because they just take you down and then you've got to wait 2 weeks till you can get your channel back. They have no backlash from doing it, and they just continuously take people down waiting for pretty much the Cricket World Cup to be over so that they get all of the views throughout the stage, which is, I mean, if it wasn't slightly illegal, it would be a smart business move from them. But like, they could get sued, but because they're such a big channel, they get away with it because YouTube wouldn't want to lose their big fish, you know? Want to keep that fish eating. Are you coming?
Got to be an even playing field, though.
And New Zealand Oz later will be great, says Hanoi, and you've got it absolutely right about Spark Sport. They are only 80% competent. They even have the damn cricket, says Janet. So yeah, it makes it tricky because as much as you want to like watch the games live with Spark, it's almost better to watch the replays because live coverage just doesn't seem to work. Like, it's still frozen from the first half for us. Are you covering the Rugby League Kiwis versus Jamaica tomorrow in the morning at 8 o'clock in the morning? I believe that game is overlapping with Stormers versus Cardiff, I believe. So we're going to be doing Cardiff versus Stormers, but we're going to keep you updated on New Zealand versus Jamaica at the same time. I would assume that it will be a very one-sided game between New Zealand and Jamaica, whereas Stormers versus Cardiff may be a little bit closer. And so our Sharks have been impressive. Their starting campaign is solid, yeah, says Ed. Yeah, and as long as they don't end up like the Wasps or Worcester and they can continue taking part in the Gallagher Premiership, that's the main thing because, yeah, the Premiership's looking a little bit light at the moment with the amount of teams going bust. Kiwis might break Oz and Scots, 80-0 score, says Hanoi there, and also 70 points, says Jeremy, and also every want copyright me. How do this community things work? Says Brandon. So pretty much with the community tab in your YouTube section, when you've got the option to click upload or create, I think it's called, you can either upload a video, create a poll, or go live, I think are the three options. So yeah, you're just going to go to the other one. Please stream New Zealand versus Australia cricket tonight at 7:30. I would love to, but if I did, we would probably get copyright struck, unfortunately. And now we're frozen because I clicked that button. Right, we will be frozen for a little bit longer. We're back. Right, we froze for a bit there. My PC really does not like me at the moment. But yeah, pretty much, I'm not sure whether or not it came through before we froze or after, but yeah, a big channel keeps on copywriting smaller channels to take them off YouTube. So I cannot afford to really do that one because or else then they'll copyright strike me and I won't be able to stream any rugby for like 3 weeks. Then you want to see what matches are you streaming, says Ed. So we have got the Fiji versus Italy live stream at 2:30 a.m. That's going to be the next live stream that we have got on the channel. So after this one, more than likely, I'll end up watching the first half of the Bunnings NBC probably, and also some of the women's game between France and Fiji. Not on live stream, just off it. And then I'll end up going to sleep as I have found out that George has also come around to film quite a big session tomorrow morning. You streaming NPC final? Maybe. I'm hoping to be able to do that one. But yeah, will depend on what time this game finishes and whether or not my PC will actually allow me to, because we currently have done the first half with no sound. And it looks like there's a chance we might have to do the second half with no coverage, depending on whether or not Spark Sport decide to play the game. And also, what if you make a YouTube channel just for cricket with a different email, says Hanoi? It is an option. We've got the Kiwi Lads Sport. That is another one that we have got as a backup channel, but it is such a tricky one because as soon as one of your channels get copyright struck, we learnt this last year, you're kind of always on edge doing the rest of your live streams just because you never know who's going to decide that they want to start, I guess, taking you down. Are you picking to win the NPC final? I think Canterbury at home is going to be a very decent option, but Wellington on the road, look like they're not too bad. And the lowest payout for New Zealand to win by 41 to 50 is $21. Can't bet on them to win by 51 plus. And do no NPC final, bro, says Nazi Williams. I'm hoping to be able to do it, but currently Spark's not loading. So I can't actually I don't know even if we're going to be able to do the second half. The good news is if we can't do the second half, I'll have like a little bit of extra time to try and sort my PC out, get the hammer out, start smacking it about a little bit, and then it might start working by the NPC.
What's that red light flashing?
That red light pretty much says it's about to blow up. So just duck for cover every once in a while when it's looking like that. Are we going to watch them play? Sadly, we can't show any copyrighted footage on the channel, or else we will get ourselves terminated pretty much straight away, or at least we'd be copyright struck for 3 months and wouldn't be able to do any live streams. Do you eat much red meat in the south, says Hanoi? There's a little bit of red meat about overall.
Yep.
Occasional steak. And I also know English Prem Rugby says, Ed, I hadn't actually looked at the games that were taking place at 3 a.m, mainly because we had the rugby league. But it's been a weird one because most of the games that we have been looking to cover recently, like I wanted to do the Wasps game last week, and then the Wasps got taken out of the Premiership. So they weren't an option anymore, unfortunately.
Sorry, I thought I heard sirens.
And also, I love red meat, says Brandon there.
Roast lamb.
Roast lamb?
Lovely.
It's a good way to go. I think our whole Wi-Fi is cutting out.
Yeah, I don't.
Because I now can't access my Gallagher Premiership app.
Oh,
This is not going well for a Saturday, ladies and gentlemen.
Sirens before, maybe something's gone on.
See, Sail Sharks versus Harlequins on Monday morning might be an option for the Gallagher Premiership.
That's the only one you're going to see at the moment.
Because Leicester versus Wasps, that was on the cards, but it got cancelled. So, yeah, Sail versus Harlequins, 3 a.m. Monday morning might be our option. We could try the iPad, maybe. Who's in the Springboks 15? I haven't actually seen too much about that Springboks 15 side yet. I know that the Springboks have announced their training side that they are going to be going with, which is pretty much their team. It's just they might make a couple changes late. Too much World Cups on. Says Cats are the best. It's weird, though, because the coverage, you guys can still see me, I believe, but we just can't access anything else Wi-Fi wise. So yeah, someone might have hit like a pole nearby, unfortunately. But yeah, hopefully we get it. And also, what's the situation on the Wasps? Of the Wasps, really financial issue. I believe it's down to, it's very similar to Worcester, but I haven't read into it hugely, but I know that it's something to do with the salary, or I'm not sure if it's salary caps that they went over, but yeah, they're in a real bad financial state, I believe, for them.
I'm just turning down the sound before I went in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's strange about the Wasps. I thought they were a powerhouse club. And the worst thing is, or not the worst thing, of course, there are a lot of worse things about it, but the Kiwis, like, sadly, like, they had a really good thing going with the Wasps, how their players would go over. I think the second half has actually started. Otherwise, why does Black Sports not show World Cup? Because they can't do all day, says Brandon. And they're right. So we've got the coverage up on the iPad. My PC, pretty much, I've got... One moment. We'll have to probably move some stuff. Because it won't fit on the tripod, will it? And I don't think we can put it in front of the camera. And also, Sparks should have never been able to have rights to any World Cup. Look what happened this last time. Do you see the All Blacks changes? Says Cats are the best. The All Blacks changes, as in like changes to the squad, or because they didn't really have too many at the start of the announcement.
About 6 that aren't travelling.
Okay. Do you know the 6?
Yeah.
Would you like to tell the class?
The Barrett brothers.
All of them?
Yep.
What's happened to them?
Family bereavement.
Okay.
But they'll travel later in next week.
Yeah.
Whakatava did a ACL or something.
Again. That's not good because he's only just come back from one.
Yeah, so he's not going. So that's 4.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 guys have got ear infections or ear infections or something. That's Will Jordan and some other dude.
Okay. Who would Will Jordan be rubbing ears with?
Oh, Sam Whitelock.
Sam Whitelock. Interesting. I mean, they're both from the Crusaders, I guess. So,
an ear infection, I think it is. Yeah.
Living in New Zealand, have to try and find an illegal stream. Yeah, that's the problem. They should have it free to air on New Zealand TV. I know that on Prime, I believe they're showing it an hour later. And Happy D-Mac is back in the ABs. Says, Hanoi will be interesting.
He got called up. D-Mac. Amor, the hooker.
Why'd they get a Safa Amor in there?
Because Dane Coles is under an injury cloud.
Okay.
and I can't remember the other ones.
Mm.
They're all from the All Black 15.
Yeah. Fair enough. I don't think the players or the coverage players will even get picked to play against Japan. New Zealand might try here.
Weber.
Says Brandon. Brad Weber's in there too.
Yep. And I think there might be one more. Oh, Tui Pilopu. I can never say his
Tui
name.
Pilotu.
I can never say his name.
D-Mac and Webby, says Ed there. And also, will Scotland stay with the donor? I don't know. They're starting to attack a little bit better at the moment here, Scotland.
Did you want to plug it in?
It's all good. I feel like we don't want to risk any more technical difficulties. We have had about 7 today already, which is impressive for a Saturday.
Close that before you...
I don't want to touch that because
okay.
last time it froze.
Oh, the whole lot?
Yeah.
Okay. Leave that then.
And also, we have got there. I can't see the coverage and can't hear the coverage in there as well. So, yeah, Spark Sports, your best bet if you are in New Zealand. And TJ is going to play at the Rugby World Cup 2023, says the rubbish guy. So, I guess it depends on whether or not Fakatava's injured because they seem to want to try and go with the young guys.
And that's fair enough.
In there. But, yeah, it depends. Because Brad Weber, I would think, is probably... See, I would pick Brad Weber over Christian Fakatava. At the moment, but I don't think the All Blacks will because they're looking at that kind of forward thinking.
Are they looking at anything, the All Blacks?
And also, I'm not rubbish, says the rubbish guy. Okay. And also, we have got there a little bit earlier on. What are you watching on? We are watching on Spark Sport. My brother did that to me. Do you know how to change your name though? Because they do have the option in your Google account that you can actually change what your name is overall. So it might be a good idea.
Oh, is he?
We could call you the guy if you want, or just Guy. Guy's nice and easy. Coxedge, she's out on the field now for New Zealand. The replacement has been made. Yeah, see, I just clicked and nothing happened.
No, you're stuffed, aren't you?
Pretty much. I don't think I'm going to be able to end this live stream, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of it. It's just going to be sitting there the whole time.
Oh.
Don't panic. It's just gone to a different tab, although now we can't get it back. But I believe we're still live on the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We can't see the chat anymore, though. So technical difficulties 101. I guess that was one of the other ones that we could have had coming up. I'm going to have to open the chat on my phone if my Wi-Fi works.
Okay,
One moment.
I won't go on mine.
Oh, it almost came back for half a second. There we go. We're back on the screen. And also, we have there. Are you good at rugby? And there says Breezy, not really. No, I feel like I could have had potential, but
could have been.
Just never got the ball. I was out on the wing.
He was pretty good at soccer, though.
Another rugby championship next year. Says Brandon, morning Kiwi lads from Cape Town just tuned in. Wow, what a score. Poor Scotland outplayed, overpowered, and way back on the field, or way back in the field. New Zealand look well in control, says Ruth. At the moment, it seems like New Zealand, they've got their edge over Scotland, and they want to try and get about 70-plus points in this game just to really cement themselves as one of the top dogs going into the next one. Hamish Network cut out, yeah. So I guess the question of are we doing a 7 o'clock live stream, unfortunately, has been answered by my Wi-Fi and my PC. It seems like both of them just do not like each other today.
No.
It's like those divorced parents that you have, like, not you, of course. No, but you know when it's like you're out with like a family reunion and those two divorced ones just hate each other.
Oh, yeah.
And they just bring the mood down. That's like what my PC's doing. All food for thought, meat pie versus quiche. Depends on the quiche. Copeland's used to do a mean quiche.
They still do.
They still do, but it's, you got to get it right.
And meat pie, you've also got to get it right, especially if it's a mince pie, because I'm fussy with the mince. But a steak and cheese pie is always good. And
do you know how to show us the coverage of the game? Your best bet is to look at Spark Sport, unfortunately, because if we show any match footage or audio, we get taken straight off YouTube by copyright, pretty much. And definitely a quiche. And then you cut out, now I can't hear you, says Brandon. And then also we have got there, as your mum's bottle totally green. It is close to it. She has the Heineken.
You can't tell. It's empty now.
And also, do you have OBS Studios? I do not. We are actually on StreamYard. For this one, unless it's a Mrs. Mac chili beef, says was Obi. And also we have got there a little bit earlier on, throwing some red meat on the barbie. Going to have it with some creamy mushroom sauce, says David. Ooh. barbecue's tempting for this evening.
It is. It's a
With how
lovely
nice the
evening.
weather is. Don't like quiche, give me a pie, but a good pie any
Yeah.
day. Not just any pie, says Knob
Yes.
Mum.
Yeah, none of those cheap bloody
Mm.
packet pies. Some of them are pretty random.
Although shout out to Big Ben, because they actually, was it Big Ben that I had last time? That was
Yeah.
actually a decent steak pie. It's hard to get a decent steak pie.
Yeah, because they're, shitty old gristly shit.
And then show us the live coverage of the game. I think you missed the part about the copyright. Like pretty much YouTube, they will see that we're showing it and take us down for 3 months, and we could get sued. Fun times.
Who's going to pay that?
Yeah, I'd have to pay it, wouldn't I?
Yeah, you wouldn't when you got that much money.
No. It's sad, isn't it?
It is.
And not StreamYard. And also we have got Hamish now. I don't know, because then you can't show us the game, says the rubbish guy. Yeah, so pretty much if we got copyrighted, we then wouldn't be able to show the game, which I feel like is, that would be the tough part. I've done it before. Some people get very lucky. They get like a minute or so without getting struck down. Some people get away with uploading highlights after the game. But like it just kind of depends a little bit. Because I know of a YouTuber who managed to build up to 10,000 subscribers, rugby YouTuber, managed to do it. He was doing reactions to like Six Nations, Super Rugby. He was doing all the clips and everything. And then he decided to do one more game. And then after that, it got him taken off YouTube and he lost his whole 10,000 subscriber channel.
Wow.
Just like that. And chocolate pudding cake versus tiramisu. I haven't had tiramisu. So I go a chocolate pudding cake. Thanks for the coverage. Watching from Vanuatu, says Dixon. So welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing very well.
How's it going?
Currently New Zealand, 45 points to 0 after 50 minutes.
Yeah, they haven't really done much in this half, have they?
That ball's been stripped. New Zealand back in possession. Nunwu goes on the outside. Bit of a rough pass there from Chubik. But yeah, Scotland have certainly come out firing in the second half. Like, they seem like they're playing a lot more structured from what I have seen. And Amos Sheffield has great homemade pies, says Kevin. Because I know that, what's the ones just up the road from us that do the pies? Fairly Bakehouse.
Yep.
Apparently their pies aren't too shabby.
No, they're quite very nice. Very nice. Even their mince pies, which, I'm fussy.
And not worth the risk, dude. Your subs are building nicely, says Nuzzy Williams. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, if you work on the theory of banned for 90 days from streaming.
What would you do? You'd have to get a job.
I already have a part-time job alongside YouTube now, so I have to get another job.
Another job. Ooh.
Double whammy. But
It is.
it's a weird one because 90 days doesn't sound like a lot, but that's the international window for rugby. That's the Rugby League World Cup gone. If we do get the chance of doing any cricket, which I don't think we will, sadly, because of the copyright side of things. The T20 Big Bash, we'll be missing that whole competition. Summer Super Rugby almost. Like, it's pretty much I'd be unemployed for 3 months on YouTube. And
so you're never going to leave home?
No, I'm stuck here now. And also, I went to Eden Park for the opening match. It was awesome. I love the game, says the rubbish guy. The guy. And you say, can you show? I will ask Hamish timeouts. You are piss off me.
What?
And also, we have got there, what is New Zealand having for dinner today? Scotland, says Ruth. Now, I saw another comment about tiramisu, I thought, earlier on, but I don't think it's there anymore. And also having breakfast morning here.
I think your auntie makes some tiramisu.
Egg, bacon rolls, yummy. Thanks for the commentary, love it.
Egg and bacon rolls.
Now, South Africans have told me that a braai roll, a garlic roll on the braai, apparently very good.
Braai?
It's like the barbecue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they do like garlic rolls. Be all right, wouldn't they?
Yeah, Black Ferns hot on attack here.
There you go. 12 minutes in, yet to see a point in the second half.
Oh, no.
Oh, that was a risky offload, but good hands from Renee Holmes to be able to clean it up.
She's kicked well.
The question is, will they go with Holmes at 15 or will they go with Ruby Tui at 15 for the next contest?
The way she's goal kicked, I think you got to put her in there somewhere, but Ruby Tui's got to be in there too. Geez, he's got some decisions to make, hasn't he?
Big ones. Favorite food / cuisine? Mine would be Italian easy. Is that for pizzas and pasta, Ed? I would assume.
Yeah. Pizza and beer. Can't beat it.
Is beer Italian?
Heineken? No, that's German, isn't it?
Maybe. Ruz has just scored the try for the Kiwis, and that brings up the half century, ladies and gentlemen, for New Zealand in this contest. But I would say, I mean, I
Oh.
quite enjoy.
Amsterdam.
I enjoy a chicken fried rice, so I guess Chinese. But then, other than chicken fried rice, I don't think there's too much else that I have that is Chinese.
No. Wontons, do you like them?
They're not bad, but I don't know whether or not I'd like rave about them.
Mini spring rolls.
I mean, they're all right as well, but I do like pizza as well. Yeah.
Love pizza.
So I'm probably close to the Italians as well.
But you don't like pasta,
It depends on the pasta.
does it?
Yeah,
Or you eat some?
some of it. Yeah,
Okay. I love pasta.
that's good. That sounded like a child coming up our driveway. I hope it's not. I had to get the hose. Some people will think that I'm not joking.
Oh, dim sums. I love dim sums. Sorry. They don't have them over here. Not very often, anyway.
That's why those South Africans are massive, says Nazi Williams, and Ed Miner's Mexican. And there as well says, Obi, that one's gone over. Now 54 minutes through, it's going to be 52-0 for New Zealand over Scotland.
Am I going to have to go find out if someone's on their property?
No, surely not. Pizza and pasta, yes, says Ed there.
And beer.
And beer.
Dim sum. Yeah.
You do enjoy a dim sum. You can't find them very often.
Well, they used to have them in Timaru when I lived in Timaru. Geez, they were nice. And then when we were in Aussie, we kept coming across them, didn't we? But I don't know if anyone in Timaru, anyone in New Zealand has them now. If you do, let me know. I'll be there. Oh, dim sums.
Kicked off there by Lisa Thompson. Looks like we've had a little bit of a mistake there. Didn't go the 10 metres from Scotland. And also a question for you, Hamish. Do you want to copyright me one day, Hamish? Are you going to let me do my one thing Joe want to ask, get to questions? Says Brandon. So pretty much I don't think I'd ever copyright anyone, mainly because...
You're too nice.
And also it's just like, if you falsely copyright them, that's just like...
Yeah.
I've had that happen to me and it just sucks. So,
yeah.
You know, I don't even know if I'd copyright claim anyone if they like fully uploaded like something that I made originally. I feel like I'd just be like, it is what it is.
You're not that way inclined.
Sushi versus dim sum.
Dim sum.
I haven't actually had much of either. I don't think I've ever had a dim sum. And I only had sushi at school, but I faked it.
You did.
So I didn't actually have sushi at school. Pretty much they made sushi at primary school. Everyone had to make it. They'd wrap it in seaweed. They'd put some rice in there, some chicken, I think it was, that they went with. And then everyone had to try it. Like, I was like, no, thank you. I don't like sushi. And they were like, no, you got to try it. Everyone's got to try it. So then when they came around with a different plate, I was just sitting there, and they bought it. Silly teachers.
Yeah, any teachers watching now, you know what he was like.
I'm at the pub, says the rubbish guy, and the best pie I have ever had was roast lamb and mint pie somewhere in Devon or Cornwall, England. Great try, Kiwis, says Ruth. And also, we were there. I'm at the pub with my laptop and dim sum with Chinese beer, says David in there. No, so we got Hey Sisters earlier on from the rubbish guy. Do you know what that's from?
Twisted Sister, the band?
No, it's from James Charles on YouTube.
No, see, I don't watch a lot of YouTube apart from you and the TV programs that I like.
I've done well then, haven't I?
You have.
Sneak into that group. Grumpy for Scotland here once again. Ball hasn't gone in.
Nowhere this second half, isn't it?
New Zealand have got the one try in 17 minutes. It's gone by very quick though.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's because we've been talking about food. Who doesn't love food?
Oh.
Do you love food?
Yeah, but it doesn't always love me.
Yes. I'm cracking up, says the guy.
It's a bit sad that you had a pub on your laptop though.
I'm not a James Charles freak though, says the guy. Yeah, I don't think I've ever watched anything on his channel. I just know the meme.
Are you showing the rest of the pub, the Kiwi Lads channel?
Don't do that. And also, there's no such thing as chicken sushi. I ate sushi last night. It was amazing. You're missing out, mate. Do you love food? It's like, do you love ear? Says Paul in there. So there's no such thing as chicken sushi. Okay, I guess genuine sushi is it's definitely with the fish, isn't it?
Yeah, but I like the chicken.
Mm,
I always take the chicken.
yeah.
That's nice.
And also we have got there, it's not women's rugby, it's just rugby. It's not women's rugby, it's just rugby. Get out and support the women's game. Yes, it's not as good as the men's, but if you support it, the women can get better and better. You do have to realise women haven't been able to play rugby their whole life, and they don't get paid the same as the men. They have to work another job, meaning they don't get to train as much. Hello, Xavier. Welcome in. Those are some very inspirational words off the get-go. Not even a hello first, just straight into it.
As if he's been here before.
He has been here before. He's a regular of the channel.
I know, but is he someone else as well?
Someone else as well? No.
Well, don't some of these guys have multiple
They do, but
YouTube channels?
Xavier's a Melbourne Rebels supporter.
Is he?
Yep. Same as Amelia. They're actually a union together
Okay.
of the Melbourne Stockade.
Yeah.
There you go.
Must be depressing during the rugby season, though. They don't win many, do they?
No, but they're talking about getting rid of the Melbourne Rebels, which is a bit of a shame.
Who are they going to replace them with?
Don't know. I've been enjoying this World Cup.
They're not actually playing our competition, are they? Aussie next year.
Not sure. I don't think they've confirmed it yet. Some of the women's players can play for the All Blacks. Women and Tui, what do you think one day it'll be just the best players regardless of gender? I don't know whether or not they'll go down that track, mainly because it's a tricky one. Like, I hope that it does get to the stage how women's rugby is as big as men's rugby, but I don't think they'll do an interchanging, like both playing on the same field, just because, like,
No.
I can't imagine what the backlash would be like if, like, a women's rugby player like a Ruby Tui was running forward and she just gets clotheslined by a big, like, huge.
That's why they have an age thing up until about the age of 14.
Mm.
Girls can play with boys in the rugby, but yeah, it's just such a big size difference. I mean, it's just not feasible. Women playing against men in rugby. Friendly games, maybe, but
Touch rugby,
maybe mixed. But in this regard, no.
I've always said, but hey, mate, I play like a girl, so there.
Yeah, but you're probably built like a brick shithouse too.
It will be if he eats plenty of sushi. That's protein right there. Do you go to the gym, Paul? Do we know? You've been watching the Rugby League World Cup? We certainly have. We've done a few other games on the channel. I believe we've done about 3 or 4 so far, and we have got a game coming up later on tonight, Fiji versus Italy. Food be the music to my stomach. Also, don't like raw fish, says Ruth there. And also, we have got these try new cuisine. Hamish, food is awesome, whether it's Chinese or Thai. I even tried Indian food. Yeah, Indian's not too bad.
Yeah, I like Indian.
Butter chicken.
Dumplings aren't bad either.
Mm-hmm. And also, dragon roll with chicken is so good. And also, there is such thing if you put chicken in a day, says Nutty Williams. And also, are you doing anything today or tomorrow? Hamish's mum.
Why? Have I got plans, have I?
And it also tastes like chicken. And how are you, bro? And how's your mum? Says, bro, we're doing very well. Are you cover a cricket match? I did want to, but sadly, due to dirty cricket politics from another YouTube channel, I can't actually cover them without me getting copyright struck.
Another tosses.
Pretty much. So we might not be doing too much of the Cricket World Cup on the channel, sadly, which is a big shame because straight after the Cricket World Cup, we're going to be doing the summer cricket season. But we just can't do the World Cup because they copyright strike you. My favourite is fish. And also, you're body shaming me now, says Paul in there as well.
That's not body shaming.
He did say he was built like a brick shit.
I said you might be built like a brick shit house. I didn't say you were.
Are you doing?
I said you're probably built.
Are you doing Bunnings EPC and go to bed? Says Brandon. I think my Wi-Fi it's not ideal here, sadly.
No.
And the PC seems like it's about one click away from shutting itself down, which is why I haven't touched it throughout the second half.
Yeah, it's just blinking red and going. I can hear the beep now.
Yeah, it just boops every once in a while. And just a bit of a holiday down under for the Scottish women. Maybe they should just get, like most of us, I mean, they do have proper jobs. It's just they have taken the break, been able to play some rugby. And the thing is, Scotland, this game doesn't look good for them. But the other 2 games, they lost by 3 against Wales, they lost by 2 against Australia, and they all but won both of those games. So 1 try difference in both of those 2, and they would have been in the top 8, which would have been quite a monumental occasion for the Scottish. But yeah, at the end of the day, just being able to take part in a World Cup, I feel like, is a special enough thing in its own right. Not many people get to say that they've played in a World Cup. In fact, very few get to say that. And women's always have a harder climb. I have great respect for these ladies in rugby and football. They also weren't given given the same status as men. And as well, says Ruth.
So here's a question for you. How many times has New Zealand won the Rugby World Cup?
The woman. That's a great question.
How many times as the men?
That's a good question too. Do you know the answers?
No.
Oh.
That's what I'm asking.
Well, the men are about 3 or 4, I believe, at the moment.
I have a feeling the women are a few.
I used to film me playing a rugby video game, says the rubbish guy. And I wonder what they say England. I wonder why they say England is the outright favourites. I think it's because of when the 2 sides, New Zealand and England, versed earlier on in the year. England won, but it was on home soil for the English. So that kind of changes things a little bit.
And Wayne Smith wasn't coaching them then.
And Hamish Trout are just delicious. And it is fishing season now. And the way I see it, male ballet dancers is more known in the ballet industry. Sadly, in every industry has its dominance majority of its own. But yes, sadly, is how it is for women in the sports industry. That's going to be a try.
No, it's a yellow card.
Oh, yellow card. Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.
Is anyone interested in the rugby? Well, yeah, but we're winning 52-0, so it's a bit of a
one-sided affair. 27 games in a row too, says Johnny. And is that for England that they're currently on a 27-game winning streak? That's huge.
See, South Canterbury won again today.
They did. Australia A versus Ireland A. And they're 1-3. And men is 3. Men is 3. Men is 3.
Question mark?
I believe so. For the Men's World Cup. They had the 2 in a row and then the one earlier on. So I think, the men have 3.
The first one.
South Africa have 3. Australia 2 and England 1.
Okay.
Is that
and
correct?
The woman?
And the woman, by the sounds of it, 1.
Why is that all?
Although they haven't had a Women's World Cup for very long.
Okay.
It hasn't been running anywhere near as long as the men's competition has.
Isn't it?
No. We're going to, I want to Google it, but I know that will break the PC, so I'm going to do it on my phone.
Because I thought we'd had a pretty good run there. One year we won it and the men didn't. And yet still the women didn't get paid properly.
Winners, number of teams. New Zealand 5th title, I think they might have said. So New Zealand have won 5 times.
How many of the men? 3. I do believe the women are winning. And yet they're still not. Well, I think this year they might be paid a bit more, are they?
So England won the World Cup before the last one.
Yeah.
So New Zealand, England, New Zealand, New Zealand, New Zealand, New Zealand. They have 4 in a row. And then it was England and the United States, the inaugural champions.
Wow.
There you go. Have you tried Malaysian fish curry? At least it's cooked hot and spicy like Antonio Banderas, says Ruth there. I haven't tried a Malaysian fish curry. I don't think I've tried a fish curry, let alone one from Malaysia. So maybe that will be something I have to have a look at. The second half seems slower. I think in a weird way, the second half time-wise has gone quicker. Just scoreboard-wise hasn't really moved. I feel New Zealand will win this game. Seem very determined. They are smashing Scotland, who have played well, says Paul.
They played well in the second half, Scotland.
And they played well in their first 2 games. It's just they got caught out from the get-go. That extra pace from New Zealand. USA might go to war, says Brandon. I mean, they've got their game later on, if that's what you're talking about, which of course is not what you're talking about, but it is what you're talking about because we're on a rugby live stream, isn't it? Yeah. And also, New Zealand Rugby World 7 Series might be moved place to Australia, says Brandon. And Win World Cup, that is, says, I didn't read that one first. I feel New Zealand will win this one. Seem very determined. They are smashing Scotland. Win World Cup, that is, rather than overall. And do you like fishing? I do like a bit of fishing. I enjoy putting the lure in the water, reeling it in, doing that a couple hours worth, and then going home without catching anything.
Have you not caught anything?
Probably a cold.
So you haven't caught a fish before?
I think I have.
I think you have.
I don't know whether or not I did it all by myself, though. It's more of the case of I was the glory hunter. Dad would hook one, then be like, would you like to reel it in? And I'll be like, hey, yeah, look at the fish I caught. You know? Or, that one got off. Whoops.
Oh, shit, that got away again.
And evenings, Hamish, not I hope all is good, says Nathan. It certainly is, mate. Hope you are doing very well. And England are next level. They are a rolling maul, which aren't good at stopping, or which aren't good at stopping at this stage. Cheer from the Naki, says Kev. Yeah, I think the dream match for the final is England-New Zealand.
Yes.
I think everyone wants that, don't they? We need a fishing channel, says Paul. I mean, I don't fish that often, but it is fishing season. George wants to go fishing, one of the other Kiwi lads. He also wants to get a miniature jet boat, like a remote control one, and send it up the stream.
To do what?
Just that, like, little mini jet boating.
They're quite fun, those boats.
And it will instead Rugby 7 in Australia, all games in Australia. Says Brandon, and New Zealand look lethal today. Any opposition would have gone steamrolled strong and through, says Ruth. That one's gone down on the front row. New Zealand with another free kick, although they've only been able to get themselves one try in the second half, which is something they may look at with a bit of disappointment. Not a huge amount of disappointment.
Well,
but
maybe they're working more on set pieces and stuff. And
I think it's Scotland's woken up.
Yeah, they have.
I think from about 30 minutes on, it's been a different Scottish side than we saw for the first little while. They must get plenty of snacks, though, because he's just chomping away on something.
And so she.
Some nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, bit of Scroggin mix.
Could be some of those ones that I've got.
Those some blanched almonds.
Almonds with, what are they, white chocolate and raspberry coating from the, I don't know, I can't remember what they're called. Bloody nice.
We'll remember it once they sponsor us.
Yeah. Grazing. Graze.
And are you from Canterbury, lad, says Ed. I am born in Christchurch, but then we moved down south. That's a nice cutout pass from New Zealand. It's been dropped by Amy Duplessis. She has put the ball down. Scotland able to regather. But yeah, we moved a little bit further south, which is why I'm still pretty impartial when it comes to rugby and all sorts. New Zealand don't want to get hurt, probably just playing out some tactics, says Paul. Yeah. I guess making those subs relatively early as well. They went with Kendra Coxedge out on the field pretty much at the start of the second half. It's already been 28 minutes of this half, though. I can't believe how quick it's gone. Yeah, I should mention, ladies and gentlemen, sadly, due to, I guess, uncontrollable circumstances of Wi-Fi and my PC pretty much trying to blow up, I guess is the best way of wording it. So because of that, we won't be able to do our very next live stream that we were going to be doing at around 7 o'clock, but we will be back at 2:30 a.m. for Fiji versus Italy. That is a game we are covering. And then also alongside that, we are going to be doing the game a little bit later on in the morning, 7:30 a.m. That will be the game taking place between Stormers and Cardiff, I believe it's going to be. And big love to our Scottish lasses. And the difference is embarrassing. What is the point of these games apart from humiliation? There is not enough depth in women's rugby, and we all know who the top 4 will be before the tournament started, says Bobby Bingle. Well, that's probably why they only went with the 12 teams rather than 16, in a way, I guess you could say. But the thing is, before this game, I don't think anyone saw it being this one-sided to New Zealand. Yes, New Zealand's been playing well, but Scotland only lost to Australia by a couple points, and they all but won that game. So I think a lot more people expected a bit more of a fight back from the Scottish in this one, rather than the way that it has gone. I know there'll be some Scottish people blaming the lilac kit, just because that's the easy way of going. That's going to be a nice strip from New Zealand. Now I'm talking about stripping the ball. Had to clarify. Didn't want to get myself in trouble.
Really?
10 minutes left. Around the side of the breakdown, New Zealand starting to march 10 metres out from, like my old dad used to say, the only thing he ever caught while fishing was a cold, says Ruth. And now where's Canterbury? No disrespect. Pretty much Christchurch area. And well, I'm from Christchurch, but now live overseas. Where in Christchurch, mate? Hornby,
Hornby.
I believe it was.
But that was a wee while ago.
It was, yeah. But the Copelands nearby was fantastic.
It was, wasn't it?
That's where you could get yourself a good quiche and a pie. New Zealand.
Yeah, the mini pies were brilliant.
Consider going quickly, but instead they will just take this one at a normal line-out pace. Also, can you do me a favor, please? Can you comment on one post on community thing? As I do right now, I don't know what I post. Although, surely Joe will be about to be able to comment on that one. He seems to be very active on your channel, Brandon. So he might be looking out for a community post. And also, we have got there, big love to our Scottish lasses. I did, yes. But we got to show respect to Scotland, don't we?
Yes, they've done well in the second half.
7-0 for the second half compared to the first, which was 45-0. Interesting that they'd give you a live update on the game with 9 minutes left. Rather than...
Are we that far behind?
No, Spark Sport's not too bad. It's just a minute or two. And my dad wanting you, Hamish, say hi, says Brandon. And there's no hello, Brandon's dad. Oh, good run down the wing. Now this is going to be a dangerous run. Oh, she didn't pass the Cox edge, and I'm not complaining about it. Renee Holmes instead gets herself the try. Even her teammate, Sylvia Brunt, got sick of hearing Cox edge talking. I hate halfbacks who just jabber. I don't mind if they jabber to their teammates and just constantly are talking, but it's the ones who get right up in the ref's face and go, what about this penalty? What about this one? This one. Perenara is a perfect example of that. That's why I don't mind that Weber got promoted rather than Perenara. And did Old South Canterbury win their game today? They did.
Yes, they did.
They managed to do very well.
They were 22-17 down at halftime, and then they won about 40 odd to 34 or something.
Because there was that last minute try from Whangarei too, wasn't there? Or Wanganui.
Yeah, they got a couple of late tries. So, but yeah, South Canterbury played well in that second half just to ram at home.
Speaking of ramming at home, Renee Holmes rams at home. Gets herself another try, moving up to 57-0 now. So it's not actually as high as it could have been. There's Portia Woodman, Ruby Tui, Stacey Flula, all will be ready to go for the quarterfinal. I know that was the final for Canterbury, says Paul. So yeah, South Canterbury able to get themselves the Meads Cup. Canterbury playing just a little bit later on in about 40 minutes time. They will be playing off against Wellington for the Bunnings NBC. Yeah, be interesting to see who manages to take out that one. Canterbury, I think, come in as favourites. I'll just have a quick look.
Go Wellington.
Oh, yeah, because I don't mind Wellington if they get themselves a win, because Perenara won't be there, will he?
Maybe not. I don't know. It depends when. No, because who's playing tonight? I'm always playing for Canterbury.
Well, that's weird. He's a Wellington boy.
Okay, he's playing for Wellington.
The banter. Did you like the banter, hey?
Is he Wellington?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, one of them. I was going to say Wellington to start with, but then for some reason I thought, no, it's the other turkey that's playing All Blacks, isn't he? Who's the other one?
Cody Taylor?
No, the other one.
Samasone Takiaho?
Who's he play for?
The Chiefs, normally.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. Bunnings UBC. I don't even know if he's got a Bunnings UBC team. He might be a Bay of Plenty boy.
No.
Not too sure.
I don't know.
Or actually, maybe Waikato.
I don't know.
Okay. Also, props to Maru, says Johnny, and in Christchurch. So, yeah, that game for the Bunnings NBC final is going to be in Christchurch at Orange Theory Stadium. The game that took place between South Canterbury and Wanganui was at Pleasant Point. And also, I'm planning to visit New Zealand later this year with family and friends, so hopefully the weather does stay nice for you. I know that near Christmas, the airfares have gone through the roof.
They have, which is disgusting, really, to be honest.
Unless, of course, an airline wants to sponsor us, then it's understandable.
Oh.
See what I did there?
Yeah,
but
nice.
Now we can't.
Yeah.
It's a real dick move from the airlines. We just don't send them this part. Afternoon, Nathan. Hope you're well.
Here's one for you. Who would you rather be sponsored by? The airlines or food outfits? Or clothing? Yeah, 3 options. Clothing, food, or airlines.
What's involved in each of them?
Airlines, you fly anywhere in the world for free.
They'll do.
Food, you get free pizza for life. Clothing, Puma sponsors your channel.
Okay.
And you get free clothing. For
Question.
Yep.
Airline, do I also get free accommodation?
No.
Ah. That's a shame.
Enough subscribers around the world to get free accommodation. Yeah, back to the rugby.
I'd have to think about it, wouldn't I? Because I do wear clothes and they're handy.
They are.
But I do eat food too.
Yeah. What's more important? Looking good? Feeling good?
Oh, would you feel good though if you had unlimited pizza?
No, you wouldn't. You'd be bloated for shit for ages.
Scotland are getting into their second gear. They're getting masterclass in the rugby skills from the Kiwis. Good lesson and nice thank you of the South Canterbury, says Nate. And also we have got their South Canterbury smish. And Joe want to watch Rugby League World Cup in there as well, says Brandon.
Fair enough.
Yeah. The Rugby League World Cup, it's an interesting time zone for us here in New Zealand. We've got up, it's actually kind of good though, because I have gotten up at 7:30 a.m. or about 7 a.m. on a few of the weekdays, and that's been really good because I've been able to get up nice and early, get a productive day going, and then go to bed early so that I can wake up early the next day. And great to hear you're from Canterbury, Hamish. Voice supporter Canterbury Crusaders, saw them play against Stormers a few times here in Cape Town, says the Roof. And also, I'm good, my guy, and good afternoon, Sebastian Bigaroha, says Nate. There's currently 77 minutes through. It's a knock on from the Black Ferns again. Time from the lady who got herself the yellow card. Maybe some big contact there. Nice work from, I think it was Jodie Reety. Reety? Might be Reety. Reety. And Kiwis versus Jamaica is actually not too bad for your time zone, says Sebastian. So, yeah, we're actually going to be, it's annoying because with the Sharks versus Ulster game getting cancelled or postponed, I was hoping that they'd make that game between Cardiff and the Stormers, they'll put it forward a couple hours just so that it worked well for us. So we're going to be doing Stormers versus Cardiff, but also keep you updated on the score between Kiwis and Jamaica. But we are doing the live coverage for Fiji versus Italy at 2:30 a.m. So it's a weird evening, but yeah, like I mentioned, there's a video coming out tomorrow. I think it's going to be. It's of me and George playing Rugby League Live 4. We did Samoa versus Greece. There's going to be a lot of censoring that has to take place before that video goes up. Because if I left it as it is now, George would get cancelled probably 5 times over with some of the stuff that he said. He was really testing the vocabulary that he had and all of the offensive statements that he could make in that one. But the green screen fell down and it was quite funny to watch. And I was like, hey, brother, hi to your mum. Our training prep going okay, says Maxie. Has gone not too badly so far. I think December's going to be the big month for it. But yeah, should be exciting. See how it does end up going. But this might be the first time you've been on a live stream when Maxie's been here as well, or not quite. This is Maxie. Possibly. You know Maxie, don't you?
Yeah.
Apparently New Zealand 57-0.
I'm in awe.
And anyone know how I can watch the rugby or at least the semis in the final? Love to see it. Nothing against you, awesome coverage, says Paul. No, completely understandable. Which country have you gone overseas to, Paul? Do let me know, because that may depend a little bit on whereabouts you can watch it. Thankfully, we booked it from last year. Going to be my first time in Queenstown. It's going to be nice over the summer, I think. And it's the way it is. So much sport on the weekends, you don't know what and when to watch. And hello, says Beds of Blaze. Welcome in, mate. And also, we have got their Hump It. Interesting. And also, we have got their Love Your live streams. Thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. And Beef Wellington, that's the one that looks like a big sausage roll, isn't it? Pretty much. Yeah, it's just a slightly undercooked sausage roll.
Oh, one of the English chefs has a good recipe, because Emma was going to do it one year, but we didn't quite get around to it.
Couldn't find a sausage big enough.
It's a hunk of beef, not a sausage.
It's first time going. Good, thank you, says Maxie there. It says 73. It is lying. There we go. It's now gone up to the 80. I live in Thailand. Oh, okay. So Thailand, have you got a VPN, Paul? So if you've got a VPN, you may be able to get into Stan Sport in Australia. that might be a good option. Or KO in Australia, I think, also has the Women's Rugby World Cup. All the highlights are on the All Blacks YouTube channel. That's a little knock on from New Zealand, but now one lay chance for Musgrove. Tries to run up the middle. This would be a little bit sad for New Zealand to concede right at the end of the game, but I feel like Scotland, they just haven't had enough attack, have they, to be able to really cause them issues. Waiting for that ball off the back. I believe they're still playing with a slight penalty, or sorry, knock-on advantage. So we said nice ball on the outside. That was a weird one. I think, okay, that was a cricket bowl from Sarah Hirini, who was actually off the field earlier. Maybe another injury. Good evening, Hamish Mum. Just got home from work. Haven't missed anything? Well, you've missed a few tries from the Black Ferns in a row, but they've made their way through. And also, wait, you're not going to stream UFC, says Ed. Oh, is that tomorrow as well? It is, isn't it?
Add that to the list.
There's so much on. Oh, it's a good card, though. Have you seen the UFC fight card?
No.
Boy, it's one that makes your mouth water. You probably, I don't know whether or not you've heard of half these guys. I'm going to read them out to you.
And that's full-time, guys.
And you're going to tell me whether or not the fights that I'm telling you kind of make you go, oh, that's all right.
Mm.
Right, Caitlin Chukagian. She's versing Manon Fiorot. No, that's fair enough. Benil Dariush. He's going to be fighting up against Matuz Gamrot.
Yeah, no.
No, that one's not really there either. What about Peter Yarn versus Sean O'Malley?
Might have heard of Sean O'Malley.
Sugar Sean? That's a decent fight. Peter Yarn, he's a tough man.
Is he?
Angry.
Yeah.
Yep. And missed the whole game, says Nate. And it was one-sided, unfortunately. We didn't get to see too much of an even playing field out there on the park. And sadly, we won't be able to cover the game that has taken place at 7 because my PC is about to pretty much combust. So the plan is going to be, we're going to be back at 2:30 a.m. for Fiji versus Italy. Alongside that, we're also going to be doing the game at 7:30 a.m. between the Stormers and Cardiff. And we're also going to keep you updated with what is happening for the other matchup, which is New Zealand versus Jamaica in the Rugby League. Aljamain Sterling versus TJ Dillashaw.
Oh, I've heard of Dillashaw.
Mm-hmm.
Is he favourite?
Not sure. I think Aljamain might come in as favourite.
Okay.
TJ's been off his substances, so it makes it harder.
Oh, so no drugs.
No drugs now. Charles Oliveira, he is going to be in the main event up against Islam Makhachev.
Might have heard of that Oliveira.
Mm-hmm. The Bronx. Or two Bronx.
So who's going to win that one?
That's a tricky question. I think it depends on Oliveira's ground game, really. What he puts on the table. I hope you're well, Spider-Man. Thanks, Hamish and Mum. See you in the next one, says Kingy Toto. And likewise, bro. And well done. The Black Ferns at Abu Dhabi. Is there a good venue, though? Says Ed. It is. I just realised I didn't check what time those games are actually, those fights are taking place. 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Okay, so that will actually be overlapping
everything else.
Pretty much. But we'll keep you updated throughout the night with the UFC as well. Might as well.
Hey, why not?
Why not? Ha-ha.
I won't be here.
And you ever played a rugby game in 40-plus temperatures? I have. It's a killer. That would suck. That would really suck. I have played in about -2 temperatures, which was quite close.
Was that in Fairley?
Yeah. There was a dead mouse stuck to the field because it had frozen.
I obviously didn't take you to that one.
No, you didn't. It snowed on the way home. It was a bit chilly.
Yeah, no.
Touched the ball twice. And what do you think of the women's rugby to watch? Says Maxi. I think it's been good so far.
It has been. I'm picking they've won a few fans over too. More fans, like me.
Yes, she does love Fiji now because of the big props who just charge at the line.
Oh, it's just good. They'll just played so well, but very unfortunate in that second half.
And they've got their game coming up against France in only 40 minutes' time. It'll be an exciting game. I feel like we're going to have it set up like a sports bar in here. We're going to have New Zealand versus New Zealand versus Australia in the T20.
Yeah.
We're going to have...
Can we have them all on the screen?
I think so. We're going to have the Wellington Phoenix. They've got their game coming up.
Cool.
So they're playing tonight. There's also the Wellington versus Canterbury Bunnings NPC final. And then the women's game between Fiji and France, which Fiji need to win by about 30 points to have a chance of going through. And great win for the Black Ferns. And Connor versus Betty will be good, says Obi. Are they actually going to make that fight, though? Or is that just one that people go, they both have quite out there personalities, so we want to see them fight? But more flow than the men's, says Maxi there.
The Black Ferns are playing good rugby. It's good to watch.
Mm.
You know, it's a bit tough in that second half where Scotland sort of came to the game finally, but they still played well.
I think it's one of those ones that, like, if you look at it from the outside, right, and you haven't watched the games, people for some reason go, we don't want to watch it because it's the women's playing. But if you actually like watch it, normally you walk away going, yeah, that was a good game of rugby. You know, it seems to be, it's like jumping off a high diving board. Not really, but that's where my brain's gone. You know, you get up on the platform, you look down and go, oh, that's a bit scary. But as soon as you jump, you're like, I might do that again.
Yep.
You know, it's just, you got to get yourself off that cliff first. So if you need someone to push you off a cliff, call the Kiwi Latin. Don't do that, please. It's going to be a lawsuit, isn't it? Women are actually better to watch because they are clear, precise, and accurate in everything they do, says Janet. And there seems to be less cheap shots as well, in terms of the high tackles and whatnot. Like some of the men's guys, they do get a bit carried away. I mean, you just got to look at Thomas Lavanini or someone like that. There's less of the jersey scragging and going, ooh.
Yeah, the cheating.
You know?
Did I say cheating?
You said cheating out loud, yeah. Yikes. I read a clip from YouTube saying it's better if the Black Ferns lose. Why, Hamish, any idea? I would say probably just to make the competition a bit closer. And England, they are going to be playing tomorrow up against South Africa. Maybe it was saying that it would be better because then England would qualify first, and maybe it's a better, I guess, path to the final for the Black Ferns. At least ref interference. Yeah, well, also true.
Refs don't have to interfere as much because there isn't all that off the ball shit.
And in rugby, or in general speaking, for the women are actually better to watch because they are clear, precise, and accurate in everything they do, says Paul there.
You can answer that one.
I could, yeah, but I might get myself in trouble. Depending, like, I could answer it either way and still get in trouble, couldn't I?
Yes.
Yes.
But remember, your mum's sitting beside you, so.
That is true. And that's the testosterone.
Yes, probably. Not you.
1976. That was a great tour by the All Blacks against the Springboks. Fantastic players, so much good memories, says Ruth. And there as well. But nonetheless, I think that's almost going to be the end of this live stream. Anyone who is just tuning in now, New Zealand getting themselves a comfortable win, 57-0 over Scotland. So they will be moving through to the quarterfinals next week. It's the big question now, though. Who are they going to be going up against? I have a bad feeling.
Have you?
Yeah. Surely they wouldn't put the Black Ferns game at the same time as All Blacks versus Japan, would they?
Oh, they can't.
They can't, but they probably will because that's what they do. So we're going to have a quick look here and just see whether or not it is confirmed. Because I know New Zealand are playing at about 6:50, somewhere around there. There's a women's game at 7:30 on Saturday night, same time as New Zealand are playing. So the big question is it going to be a Black Ferns overlap? If it is, that's really bad.
It was bad enough the first round, wasn't it?
And good luck, Wellington. Fergus Burke on fire, says Nate there. And also Palms going down, New Zealand, cheers, says Nuzzy Williams. And there as well. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. Like I mentioned, 2:30 a.m. New Zealand time is when our next live stream will be. So in about 8 hours' time, we're going to be back rearing to go for some rugby league. And then after that, in about 13 hours' time, we've got our game taking place between the Stormers and Cardiff. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And we will see you all for the next